Peru to come forward, and a couple of them are going to share their testimony of what the Lord did while they were in Peru. I know Dallas is planning to do that, Laura, Christine McCall. So would y'all go to the lectern? And we're going to hear about what the Lord did while they were in Peru, not last week, but the week before last.
Good morning, everyone. Before I get into the lesson, or one of the lessons I learned, I just wanted to extend my thank you to all of you that supported us and prayed for us, because the fruits in my life were immense, all right? And I can't wait to see where this experience takes me. So there were many lessons I learned going to Peru. So I'm just going to share one that God has revealed to me in hindsight of the mission, and that is how the Peruvians were missionaries to us as we were missionaries to them. So we were in Peru, and, we're foreigners, and every Peruvian we met extended the most warm welcome to us and showed us how they love God. The first experience I'd like to share is on Sunday, the Sunday after we got there on Saturday. Anyways, logistics, whatever. So we were there on Sunday, and the most interesting dynamic, we were put in this interesting situation. We had a Korean minister preaching to a bunch of Americans in Peru. And, you go and you think, wow, this is the most odd situation. But that whole time, God was there, and we were worshiping him and listening to what he had to say in a different language. And it's like the same feeling you feel here. You're worshiping him, you're singing to him, you're praying to God, but it's in a different language there. It's like a different flavor of worship. So that was the first way. The Peruvians were just showing their love for him, and it was amazing to see it. The second way that I saw the Peruvians being missionaries to us is with this wonderful woman named Chilla. So we went to a house visit, and we were just talking to this lady, Chilla. We were getting to know her, and she decides to spend, 45 minutes talking about her testimony with such openness, and it really inspired me and just amazed me that she was able to just open up to us like foreigners. We had to have a translator there, and just talk about her love for God and how it had grown through her experience and through her life. So both of those experiences, I was just amazed at how the Peruvians were showing me their way of loving God, all right? How they do it in Peru, and how similar it is to what we do here in the States. And they were so open, and as I go back into normal life, going to band and doing all that crazy stuff, I just want to take that openness they showed me there into what I'm doing here. So thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys again for praying for us, because it was just one of the most joyful experiences of my life. Thank you.
I just want to say we are so blessed here in the U.S. To have what we have. If you go to Peru, there's so many things that they don't have, and we just felt the joy and the peace of Christ throughout the whole trip, and he was with us. In Matthew 28:18 through 20, it says, "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you, and I am there with you always, even to the end of the age." And he was definitely there. His spirit was with us the entire time. We went through to some home visits and talked to some people who were already Christians, but they didn't have a church home, and so we were able to encourage that way. And I talked about possibly them starting a life group and having clusters across the mountain to begin doing that. And we were just a source of encouragement. They encouraged us much more than we did them. And then there was the lady whose son had had bone marrow cancer, and it was very sad because she was, kind of distraught and had fallen away from the faith a little bit, and so we prayed for her and encouraged her as well. But the funnest part of the whole trip was watching the kids that I'd seen grow up, going out and ministering to the children, and it was so fun because they didn't have much. They didn't have, all we had was jumping ropes and bubbles, and we sang songs in Spanish, and we enjoyed being with them. But the kids just were happy, just so happy, and it's just showing the love of Christ throughout the whole trip. So we really enjoyed that. I just remember the one little girl that wanted an extra bracelet. We were handing out bracelets, teaching the kids how to become a Christian. I don't know if you've seen them. They're, the black stands for sin, the red stands for the blood of Christ, the white stands for purity, the green stands for the growth in the Christian life, and the yellow stands for heaven. And one little girl tried to get an extra one because she said, "Oh, I don't have one," but she really did. And so we said, "Well, why do you want another one?" And I said, "Well, just give it to her. She can witness." And so I told her, "Let her have it because she can go and tell her friends." So that was really cool that she was willing and able to do that. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let me start by saying that was probably one of the most uncomfortable things that whole week that I've ever done. I like to be clean, and there was a lot of dirt over there. So the Lord was challenging me in that way that week. But before I go any further, I do need to thank the upper room men's class. Without whom I would not have been able to go on this trip, for giving me, for filling the rest of my funds for this trip. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for that. But the kids out there really, Laura's right. They didn't have a lot, but what they did have, they were incredibly happy with, and that was just, it was very humbling to me, and with our living situation where we were staying, I found myself kind of wishing we had a little bit more, and I just felt very small, and I almost regretted feeling that way. It kind of hurt a little bit to feel that way because those children had less than we did, while we were there, and they were still incredibly happy with that. We went to Caraballo in Lima, and we went to Chincha, and we did Vacation Bible School with all the kids there. And in Chincha, there was a little boy named Daniel. I'm never going to forget him. He was my best friend for 2 days, and he didn't leave my side. I carried him around on my shoulders. Some of y'all saw the pictures. And day one, he ran around to each and every one of us with a little chessboard, and he wanted every one of us to play with him. But nobody else really knew how to play. But that's a little bit different. But so I played chess with him, and I mopped the floor with him. I'll be honest, I'm not too proud of that, but Jane Long Middle School 2012 state championship. But he was missing half the pieces, and we made it work. We played with checker pieces that we wrote on, and he didn't have enough checker pieces either, so we used little rocks and coins. Just seeing how happy he was just to have somebody to play that with him and to teach him a few things, was, for me, made the whole trip. I'll never forget that kid. I'll never forget any of those kids, and I'll never forget the time that we spent in Peru together. Thank y'all for listening.